Hi, my name's Ian, I'm the editor of Public Affairs News, and it's Thursday the 9th of July 2009. The latest edition of Public Affairs News has come out recently, which I have in front of me. We have a story on page 3 of the magazine, which has the headline, Kallas digests criticism of Register's first year, the story at the top. It's a story about Siim Kallas, who's the lead European Commissioner, who has been in charge of the controversial Register of Interest Representatives, which has become a main industry talking point amongst public affairs people in Brussels. What the story is about is that it's on the 23rd of June. It was the first anniversary of this register. The register had been going for 12 months, and Siim Kallas had been encouraging feedback really from anyone who has a view on how the register has worked during that first year. The story in the magazine says that there are that 6 different organisations have provided Siim Kallas with feedback, or at least on Siim Kallas's website, the feedback from 6 organisations has been uploaded publicly to that website. And the purpose of this broadcast really is just to give a as quick as I can run through of the documents that are on Siim Kallas's website. I have those in front of me, and they are. I'm just going to run through briefly each of those 6 organisations' kind of criticisms of the register. I can do that alphabetically, and the first one I have in front of me here is the most critical document, and also the most extensive document, and it's provided by to Siim Kallas by the Alliance for Lobbying Transparency and Ethics Regulation, that's Alter EU. Their document's about 30 pages. I've got it in front of me, and it says the Commission's lobby register 1 year on, success or failure. If I could summarise their view in one word, it would be failure. In this document, they made so many different criticisms of the way the register's working. It's going to be very difficult for me to summarise, but their argument is that they're so unimpressed with the way the register works, they argue that it needs a fundamental overhaul. That's what they say straight away. What I wanted to flag with their criticism, which I've divided into 2, is just the extent to which Alter EU look at specific examples, which are actually very, very detailed and very, very useful, and I'm sure the Commission will find the examples useful. And really, I think anyone in the public affairs industry who has been following the development of the register in Brussels really should go to Siim Kallas's website and download this document, print it off, and it really is worth reading. If I can just, for example, it's kind of in the second half of the document, it goes on to look at very, very detailed examples of different registrations on the register, kind of criticising the kind of data that's there. To give some examples of organisations that are mentioned, it has a case study, for example, of the chemicals industry body CEFIC, but we're also looking at here, it's looking at Hill and Knowlton, Burson Marsteller, Business Europe, Unilever, Novartis, Amgen, Fleishner Hillard, British American Tobacco. So there's a lot of public affairs consultancies and in-house departments that are mentioned in that document. It really is worth reading. The second of 6 documents I have in front of me is from AmCham EU. This is a much shorter document, but a couple of suggestions that AmCham make to the Commission on the register are calling for clarification of the term direct lobbying, and in addition clarification in regards to the problem of double counting on the register. So that's a much shorter document from AmCham EU. Even shorter is the feedback provided by the Council of Bars and Law Societies of Europe. This is the problem of law firms as a whole not registering on the register is a fairly sizable problem for the Commission. What the Council of Bars and Law Societies say here is basically pointing out again that they have binding rules on professional secrecy in respect of the disclosure of clients' names and or financial information by the lawyer, even when lawyers is only exercising lobbying activity. I mean, the CCBE is saying it's happy to work with the Commission to improve the register in the way that these concerns are tackled. For instance, clients could register and declare any law firm engaged. I think this is just going to continue to prove a major kind of stumbling block for the register in respect of whether law firms register or not. The next piece of feedback is provided by IPACA, the Public Affairs Consultancies body. Interestingly, kind of in contrast to Alter EU's feedback, IPACA says it believes that the register has overall proved a success, but they again go on to list various suggested kind of improvements for the register. Specifically, they're calling on the Commission to tackle the refusal of law firms, by most law firms, to sign the register. And again, rather like the AmCham EU, they're looking for clarification on the definition of lobbying. So that's really a two-side piece of feedback from IPACA. Here I have the feedback provided by SEAP, the Society of European Affairs Professionals. They give slightly more detailed feedback to the Commission and flag up an issue that was actually covered in Public Affairs News about 4 or 5 months ago, when they're calling on the Commission to resolve with, in their words, resolve with the Belgian authorities the concerns that continue to exist with respect to VAT status and the liability of certain registrants. It's a problem that some organisations have with putting financial information on the register because of potential VAT liabilities according to Belgian law. So it's a very specific argument, but they call on the Commission to have a look at that problem. And sixth and finally is the feedback from Transparency International. Theirs again is, I think it's a 3-page document from them to the Commission, and they recommend making, this is a very specific phrase, but they recommend making registration quasi-mandatory. And what they mean by that is that anyone interacting with Commission officials would need to prove that it's registered in order to do that, and therefore registration would become a de facto requirement for interacting with the European Commission. In effect, you can only have a meeting with a Commissioner if you've registered. They're also saying in another suggestion that the register should include the individual names of lobbyists as well. That could be potential sticking points, etc., etc. So, in conclusion, I have, as I say, had a good look through these 6 different pieces of feedback, and really would say to any kind of public affairs people who've been concerned about this register, are kind of loosely interested in the register, that it's worth going to the website of Siim Kallas. Just Google it, and all these 6 documents are available there as PDFs, and they are worth reading through because they give quite detailed feedback to the Commission. So have a look at those, and future editions of Public Affairs News and the Public Affairs News website will continue to keep the readership informed of how the register continues to develop in Brussels.